I don't know if this is going to be able to reach anyone, but I'm running out of options. I'm a sound engineer living in the town of Larchester, Missouri. Currently, I'm employed by a local radio station helping with a show run by a man named Ronnie Cox. It's just one of those radio shows where the DJ would answer calls intermittently throughout the day and also give remarks on any number of topics. The day started off fine. It was bright and sunny. The weather forecast said nothing about snow, let alone a blizzard as fierce as what's raging outside now. I drove to the station, and when I came inside, I was greeted by both Ronnie and Stephanie, one of the producers of the show. They were having some argument about the time slot of the show. Ronnie had been trying to pressure his higher-ups into granting the show more time on the air. It was a rather useless argument, since Stephanie herself had no control over the matter. But even so, Ronnie would always bring up problems to her, no matter how many times she told him to take it up with the station heads. "David, you're here. Can you head into the booth? Apparently somebody messed with the equipment and the setup needs some fixing," Stephanie said as I entered the building. "It was that damn Murphy, I know it. Guy has got a vegetable for a brain, I swear. Work quick, we're on the air soon," Ronnie said. "Right, I got it." I got the booth set up back in working order, and I went to take a seat at the control panel in the room just beside the booth. It wasn't long before Ronnie and Stephanie came in. Ronnie still complaining even as he entered into the booth, not really talking to anybody in particular, just to complain. Stephanie took a seat next to me and she sighed. "I swear, he makes me just want to blow my brains out," she said softly, a sentiment that I would agree with. Ronnie was notoriously difficult to work with, a sort of diva personality, where he thought that he should have been a lot bigger than what he was. 2 minutes until we go live," Stephanie said into the microphone that connected us to the booth. Ronnie put on a pair of headphones, shuffled a few papers together in front of himself, and gave us a thumbs up. Ronnie flipped the switch and went into his DJ persona. "Hello, hello, hello, people of Larchester. Ronnie Cox coming to you with today's episode of Cox Calls. I hope you're all tuning in and having a wonderful morning. For those of you commuting right now, I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather we are having on this chilly December morning. Clear skies and the sun shining high. Look at the forecast here, it'll be like that all day." Ronnie flipped through the papers on his desk. I could see him frown a bit as he read through the notes. "Now, today's topic is going to be on the Larchester Secret Santa project. Any of you lovely listeners out there participating in this yearly tradition, please call in and tell me about it. While we wait for callers, please enjoy some holiday classics." Ronnie flipped a switch on his control board and turned to us. "Secret Santa, really? You couldn't give me some better material to work with?" he asked. "Ronnie, it's a big thing here, you know that, and we were asked by the organizers to do this. Look, we got a few calls coming in right now," Stephanie replied. Ronnie scoffed and he flipped the switch. The first couple of calls went by like usual. One was a mother who talked about her kids participating in the event, and the other was some high school kid who wondered if an adult toy could be considered a good gift to give. The kid got a few snorts out of Ronnie that he tried to contain as he proceeded to drop the call and reprimand the boy's behavior. And then came the third call. "All right, you're on the air with Ronnie. I'm gonna need to ask if we can keep it PG, caller. All right, what's your Secret Santa plans?" On the other line was who I assumed to be a middle-aged man. His voice was filled with confusion. Ronnie, it was supposed to be a clear day, right? I don't know if you looked outside, but there's some snow coming down real hard now. Like one moment, it was sunny. The next, I could hardly see 10 feet in front of me. Can you go check outside? Stephanie turned to me to ask. I nodded and I got up to head into the lobby of the station and look out through the glass doors. Sure enough, snow was starting to fall outside. As I stood there looking at the street, I noticed that the snowfall had picked up into a blizzard in just a few moments. I could remember on my way to the station not seeing a cloud anywhere, so seeing this started to unnerve me. I took out my phone and I checked the weather report. It still said that there would be clear skies, though one look outside would prove it wrong. I walked back into the broadcasting room and told Stephanie about the blizzard. Thank you for the call. You know what they say about the weather here, folks. It can change up on a dime. Now I'm going to put on some tunes and when we come back, we'll take some more calls. Ronnie said. What's going on out there? Ronnie asked. A blizzard. Seems it came out of nowhere. I'm gonna try to get some information on this. Keep taking calls and I'll be back. I need to go grab my laptop from the car, Stephanie said. I watched her walk out of the room. Ronnie shrugged and he took another call. Caller, you're on the air with Ronnie. The anxious voice of a man came through. It was apparent by the tone of his voice that something was wrong. Ronnie? I have a problem, the man said. What is it, caller? You need some gift ideas. No, you don't understand. The angry tone of the caller's voice startled both me and Ronnie. I've been trying to head to my job in the next town over, but ever since this blizzard started, I swear to you, I'm not going anywhere. What are you talking about? Ronnie asked. I've been driving in a straight line for miles now. I should have hit the highway 10 minutes ago. I've checked the mile markers and they just keep repeating. Not only that, I keep coming across other cars just parked in the middle of the road, empty. Some of them I recognize haven't driven past me. Something is going on out here. Stephanie came back into the room, laptop under her arm, opening it up as she sat down next to me. This is a weird one, I told her. The guy can't leave town, it seems. Calm down now. Is this some kind of joke you're pulling? Ronnie asked. This isn't a joke. Oh God. There's another one. I just saw the truck go past me a minute ago. Where did they go? The man said. That makes no sense. Tell me why somebody would get out of the car in the middle of a blizzard. I don't know. I think I'm gonna try and turn around. I need to head back into town. Wait, what is that? Something is coming out of the forest. The man's voice became terrified. It's people. They're walking out onto the road. They look wrong. There's something with them. What the hell is that? That can't be real. I gotta get the hell out of here. At this point, Ronnie had gone silent. I could tell by the look on his face that he was just as unsettled about the call as both Stephanie and I. No, shit. My engine died. It's coming towards me. Please, help me. The call suddenly cut off. Ronnie sat there, silent for a few moments.
Listeners, I'm not quite sure what that was. It could have been a prank call, but I'm going to try and get some information on what is going on. In the meantime, here's a word from our sponsors.
After Ronnie cut the microphone, he looked over to us. Jesus, what the hell is going on? He asked. Stephanie was browsing through the internet but couldn't find any information at all. It was as if nobody else had any clue as to what was going on here. Stephanie even tried to contact the local police department, but strangely enough, her call never got through to anyone. I noticed that numerous calls were coming in on the lines. Maybe we should try taking more calls, I said, thinking that getting info from people in town was going to be our best option to figuring out what was happening. Let's try that. You ready, Ronnie? Stephanie asked. Ronnie nodded and went back in the air.
Listeners, we're going to change our conversation subject for the day to this strange blizzard that is raging outside. I would love to hear your opinion on it. Caller, what's your take on it? That guy that just called, he wasn't lying. There is something out there.
The voice belonged to a young woman.
I just went outside to bring my dogs in from the weather, and when I went out to get them out of their cage, I saw them barking like mad at the woods. My house is on the edge of the forest and it can't be more than 10 meters away. Right when I opened up the cage, they bolted into the trees. A few seconds later, I hear them yelping and hollering. Something got to them, I know it.
The woman began to sob.
You think something attacked your dogs, miss?
Ronnie asked.
I know something did. Something was hurting them real bad. Those noises. I've never heard an animal sound like that before.
I could tell the woman on the other end was starting to cry.
Ma'am, I think you should lock your doors and call the police. This is a job for them to sort out.
Ronnie said.
I tried calling them. No one answered. Well, they might just be swarmed with calls. You should try again.
Ronnie said. The woman was silent for a little while, but I could just make out the sound of her breathing.
Ma'am, are you still there? My babies. I can hear them out there. I've got to go get them inside. They need my help.
The woman said.
You should stay inside. It would be dangerous to head out there. I just can't leave them out there. They need my help.
The woman said, hanging up the phone. Again, the three of us were left uneasy. It was clear that something very odd was happening, yet for some reason, there is no official say on the matter in any form. Part of me wanted to head back to the lobby and take a look outside to see if there was anything strange outside of the building. But at the same time, I began to feel afraid. Afraid of what I might end up noticing, or what might notice me. You should tell people to stay inside. We should give them some advice until this situation gets figured out, Stephanie said to Ronnie through shaky breathing. I could tell that she wasn't used to dealing with this kind of stuff. None of us were. This was just supposed to be a laid-back radio show in a sleepy little town. Something like this, it just burrowed dread into the pit of my stomach.
Listeners, I urge you to stay inside of your homes. Until this situation gets figured out, we should all try to be as safe as possible. Lock your doors and windows and stay inside. I'm sure the police will have a statement ready for us at any time now. I still see that we have some callers, so let's take another one. Next caller, you're on the air. I'm working over at a gas station in Hawkstown in Maine. For the past while now, there have been people standing outside of the station. I'd already locked up before they got here. Lucky I did because they tried getting in. What the hell are the police doing?
The caller was another man, his voice stricken with fear.
Who is trying to get inside?
Ronnie asked.
I don't know. They look human, but there is something wrong with them. They've got this pale blue skin and nothing but white in their eyes. They're unnatural. You're saying these individuals aren't human?
Ronnie asked.
No way they are. And you don't want them to notice you. Only bad stuff will happen to you if they do. Like what?
Ronnie said.
I couldn't tell you for sure. All I know is that every now and then I hear people screaming. Like screaming for their lives, then suddenly they go dead silent. They're doing something to people. I've been holed up in the office and watching the security camera feed. While I haven't seen what they do when they find someone, I have noticed something strange about them. Each of them have this cable coming out the back of their heads. Cable?
Ronnie asked.
Yeah, it looks like a big cable. Whatever the cables connect to is off camera. Maybe whatever they're connected to is the cause of all of this. Like they could be getting mind controlled or something.
The man said. As the conversation went on, I could feel the terror in my stomach well up, and I got up and I headed over to the door. I needed to check if there was anything outside of the station. All I needed to do was peek out. My hand trembled as I grasped onto the doorknob and I twisted. I cracked the door open and I looked out into the lobby. I nearly shouted when I saw a group of people all standing at the front door, their skin a pale blue and eyes pure white. Immediately, I shut the door and I staggered back. "What is it?" Stephanie asked. "They're here," I muttered. As soon as what I had said registered with her, I could see a look of fear in her eyes as the reality of the situation came crashing down. No longer was this just the accounts of some callers. No, whatever had come to this town was now just outside.
Shit!
I heard the caller shout.
They're busting in the windows. They're inside. Please God, not like this.
Over the line were the sounds of a door being bashed over and over again, until there was a loud crack.
What's happening over there? Hey!
Ronnie yelled.
Let me go! No, please! Let me go!
Gradually, the caller's screams sounded further and further away until they abruptly stopped.
Sir, are you still there?
Ronnie asked. There was no response. "Ronnie, whatever those things are, they're here," Stephanie said. I could see Ronnie mouthing something to himself as his hands shook uncontrollably. And then came a voice over the line. Not from the man who had called in. It was something else. A voice of something calm and collected, which uttered just 3 words. "Let me in." A sudden high-pitched shriek sounded over the line, causing Ronnie to throw his headphones across the room, and each of us to desperately cover our ears. And then the power went out, plunging the room into darkness and silence, save for the sounds of the wind blowing outside. The 3 of us had been staying in here ever since then, not daring to try and leave. We barricaded the door to the room as best as we could, but it would only be a matter of time before they got in. I am using Stephanie's laptop to type all of this out in the hopes that it reaches somebody that can help. They just broke the glass to the door. I pray that if they get into this room, that whatever happens to us, it's over with fast.